Hello friends, today we are going to learn new technique which is nowadays very popular for making the prototypes, that is rapid prototyping. In that we are going to discuss some technique, that is 3D printing. There are some products which we have manufactured in our laboratory. The first part is the prosthetic knee, which is very popular in biomedical field. The next one is one wrench. This wrench is manufactured in space by the NASA on 3D print. Next one is the casing, which is used for the gearbox small prototype, and the prosthetic knee we can test it physically. These are some examples of rapid prototyping. The learning objective of today's video is, first of all, we should be able to explain the fundamentals of rapid prototyping, then outline and explain the differences of rapid prototyping technologies, classification of RP technology, generic additive manufacturing process. Rapid prototyping, nowadays also called as additive manufacturing, and provide applications of rapid prototyping. That is the learning objectives of the today's lecture. The first one, prototype. So one of the important steps prior to the production of functional product is building a physical prototype. Prototype is actually a working model created in order to test various aspects of design, illustrate ideas or features, and gather early user feedback. It is just a version of experiment or a machine. Actually, in old days, these prototypes are made by machining, mostly machine on lathes and mills. Subtractive process beginning with a solid piece of stock. In old days, these prototypes are manufactured by the traditional machining. It is mostly on lathes and mills. Machining on lathes and mills is a subtractive process. It means beginning with a solid piece of stock, and machinist carefully removes all the material until the desired geometry is achieved. But before the start of full production, generally prototype is usually fabricated and tested. So subtractive process can require significant lead times. It may be several weeks depending on part complexity and difficulty in ordering materials. Then the next question arises, why rapid prototyping? What is the use of rapid prototyping and why we want to go for rapid prototyping? Because for complex part geometries, these traditional methods is very exhaustive, time consuming and expensive process. For that, new shaping techniques, usually put under the title rapid prototyping, are being developed as an alternative to subtractive process. It means rapid prototyping, it's a additive process. Now, a virtual prototype, it means a computer-based model, may not be sufficient for designer to visualize the part adequately. That's why we have to go for rapid prototyping. So another reason, the designer can visually examine and physically feel the part and assess its merits and shortcomings. It also helps designers to present new concepts to board members, client or investors so that they can understand and approve a development or product. Then visualization can also allow designers to gain ready feedback from customers and clients based on an actual physical product rather than a concept. It is also used for effective communication in market. Then development time is very less because of rapid prototyping. And to minimize sustaining engineering changes, if you want to make any changes in product because of rapid prototyping, these things are happen in very minimum time. It is also to extend product lifetime by adding necessary features at any time. That's why we have to go for rapid prototyping. Now, rapid prototyping technology, there are two technologies for this rapid prototyping. The first one is traditional, as we have discussed, that is a metal removal rapid prototyping, RP. In that, we are using machining, primarily milling and drilling or lathe, usually dedicated CNC machine that is available to the designer department on short brief. The next is a material addition, that is additive manufacturing, also known as. In additive manufacturing, add layers of material one at a time to build the solid part from bottom to top. You can see in this video the part is manufactured by layer manufacturing. So what is the advantage of additive manufacturing? So one important thing, the wastage of material is very less. It is manufacturing the part very fastly directly from the CAD model. But as compared to the subtractive process, the raw material required is large and wastage of material is also large. To discuss additive manufacturing, nowadays it is also called as 3D printing. It is a layer manufacturing. It means additive manufacturing is a layer-based automated fabrication process for making scaled three-dimensional physical objects directly from 3D CAD data without using part-dependent tools. It does not require any tool to manufacture the part in additive manufacturing. For example, if you want to make threading operation on any part, there is no need to use threading tool. If you want to make knurling operation on the part, there is no need to use knurling. Additive manufacturing is unique because in that they add and bond materials in layers to form objects. It was originally called 3D printing. It is developed to make engineering prototypes in minimum lead time based on CAD model of the item. It is also manufactured any object with any geometric complexity or intricacy without the need for elaborate machine setup or final assembly in very short time. Additive manufacturing or 3D printing is the process of making three-dimensional solid parts from the digital files. It means for making 3D parts on 3D printer, you just require a CAD part in any CAD software. So the one machine is there which will manufacture the part for you. Nowadays it is used by surgeons, architects, artists, fashion designer and individuals and many other disciplines. Also routinely use this technology. Actually additive manufacturing or 3D printing is invented in MIT. Now we'll discuss what is the basic difference between additive manufacturing and subtractive manufacturing. In figure you can see subtractive manufacturing is the process by which three objects are constructed by successively cutting material away from solid block of material. It is also known as conventional manufacturing. It is very well known to us. You can see in figure the waste of the material is larger as compared to the additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing is a process by which three objects are constructed by successively depositing material in the layers such that it becomes a pre-designed shape. Modern 3D printing has always been very useful for rapid prototype development, but it is starting to make its impact on the manufacturing world as well. You can see in figure, additive manufacturing is made from some materials, then we can make the CAD model, then it will go to the additive manufacturing process, and finally we'll get the product. And the waste from additive manufacturing is very less or negligible as compared to the subtractive manufacturing process. These applications of additive manufacturing. Nowadays, additive manufacturing is very popular. These are some applications. First one, rapid tooling. So, rapid tooling patterns for sand casting, investment casting, and injection molding. Rapid prototyping is used to make the patterns for all this type of casting rapidly. The next application, it is also used in aerospace or in space applications. It is used for wind tunnel models, manufacture the functional prototypes, in biomedical applications or in dental applications. In biomedical, it is used for making the prosthetic parts, then pre-surgical planning models and mechanical bone replicas. There are some common examples of the additive manufacturing or 3D printing. Now, these RP are classified based on the form of starting material. The first one is liquid-based starting material. In that, there are some common methods of 3D printing. The first one is stereolithography. The short form is SLA, stereolithography apparatus. The next one is solid ground curing and droplet deposition modeling. In brief, SLA is using photopolymer liquid and UV rays. The UV rays is passing on this photopolymer resin. As this photopolymer resin is exposed to the UV rays, they are get solidified. Platform which is always raised by some distance, that is SLA. The next one is solid ground curing. In that, the same thing we are using, but instead of directly the UV rays, we are using one photosensitive mask. There is only small difference between stereolithography and solid ground curing. The next one is droplet deposition modeling. In that, this material is deposited by drops and one layer of powder is covered on these droplets. You can see here the one figure for this stereolithography. When they are using laser system and liquid polymer, as this liquid polymer get exposed to this laser rays or UV rays, it gets solidified, and this table is used to make the layers one by one. It means the table is moving up and down. The next method for RP technologies is solid based. So starting material is obviously solid. In that, the first most popular and the first one is fused deposition modeling. The short form is FDM. The next one is laminated object manufacturing, and the last one is ultrasonic consolidation. In fused deposition modeling, we are using one thin filament made by PLA or ABS. This thin filament passes through one nozzle which gets heated at some temperature, and this filament is moving according to G codes, and you will get the final product on the some bed. The next one is LOM, that is a laminated object manufacturing. In that, we are using one sheet, is a transparent one, and UV rays. When the UV rays are passing on these sheets, they are get melted and they are deposited on the next one is ultrasonic consolidation. In that, instead of using ABS material or plastic material, we are using some foil strips. So these foil strips are gets heated at some temperatures and they gets welded. So after getting welding, we can remove the excess material, that is ultrasonic consolidation. From that, we can manufacture the metallic parts, that is solid based RP technology. And the last one is the powder based. The starting material is obviously powder. The first in that, the one is laser sintering. The shortcut is SLS. The next one is electron beam melting, and another one is 3D printing. There are some common examples. There are so many methods under these headings: liquid based, solid based, and powder based. We have discussed only few methods which are very popular. The first one is selective laser sintering. In that, now instead of liquid and solid, we are using some metallic powders to manufacture the parts, and laser rays, as the laser rays comes in contact with this powder gets solidified. It means it gets melted and it then bonded together. One roller is used powder reservoir to make the one layer of the material or this powder on the surface. The next one is electron beam welding. It is mostly used for metallic powders. It means this electron is used to solidify this powder. We are bombarding the electrons on this powder. Then this powder gets melted and one roller is used to make it bonded together. The last one, the 3D printing. In 3D printing process, it's same like your FDM process. Just instead of ABS, we are using some powder based material for manufacture the parts by using 3D printing. Now we'll discuss what is generic additive manufacturing process or basic process for additive manufacturing. The first one, You can see in figure, the first one is creating a CAD model of the part. Then this CAD model we can save as a .stl format, that is called as tessellation. That is STL, that is stand for standard triangular language or standard tessellation language. Then this STL file gets exported to the another software which is used for slicing purpose. The slicing makes this G code, writing the G codes and G codes for this movement of the nozzle or table. Then the slicing, after that, generation of laser scanning parts or material deposition path, it means generation of G codes and M codes. Then this G code and M code gets fed to the 3D printer, and the 3D printer makes the movements along X and Y and Z direction for manufacture this CAD model. After manufacturing these 3D printing parts, the next process is post-processing, that is the finishing of part. After finishing of parts, again prototype is tested. If it is okay, then we will go for final prototype. If it is not, again we can make some changes in CAD model and the process gets repeated. So we can see in the flow chart. First one, generation of CAD model on any CAD software. Nowadays there are so many softwares or links which are usually get directly CAD models, that is the popular are GraphCAD, then Thingiverse, etc. After generation of CAD model, you have to convert into STL format. STL stand for standard tessellation language or standard triangular language. It's very popular for 3D printing. After STL format, you have to go for slicing. Then after slicing, you have to give support to the structures because some parts are overhang in nature. For overhang parts, you have to give the support. Then after that, you have to go for the manufacturing on 3D printing, and then the supports is only for making the structures stand. So in post-processing, all these support structures are removed. Then this part gets finished in post-processing. The detailed generic AM process we will discuss later on. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any doubt in 3D printing, you can please post it.